What was it that made you realize? Do you remember?
Just, they were freaking miserable.
You literally called me dense. You called me like a bowling ball.
In my mind, I was literally as stoked as I could possibly be. I wish I would have been able to hear this. The other thing that I remember about you being a kid is you were freaking strong as a child.
Yeah.
Like, not normal. You were not normally strong.
That's what he always says. I have multiple memories on different occasions of my dad making his friends pick me up and just realizing how dense I am, so to speak. And there were like a couple words he'd use, but dense, heavy.
These aren't the best words. So
I mean,
this is a lesson. So I said I was going to go over some lessons learned from me. This is a good lesson for me because in my mind, I was literally as stoked as I could possibly be. Because you know how different people have different strengths, right? So you know when you train with someone in jiu-jitsu, with training with girls is a lot different. You don't have as much of a regular occurrence of this type of human, but people that are just they're built different, and you're like, okay, this dude's freaking so heavy, so strong, super dense, and usually it's a type of person that has explosive muscle tissue. So like, what's that? Is that type 2 tissue?
We'll say
like twitch
fast,
or something?
Yeah,
I don't know.
fast twitch. The fast twitch muscle, right? Those people are usually, they feel denser, stronger, and they're heavier for their size. And so you, again, it's a lot more rare, in my opinion, that a girl has that. And it was so obvious when you were little because you were heavy.
I know.
And
You told me.
yeah, I know. And the thing is, in my mind, that was like a huge compliment.
And
Well-
my sister
Oh
is
yeah.
like,
And your sister is normal.
well, she was like smaller. Like
Yeah.
she was a ballerina, my older sister. And he would say she's like a bird. She's like a bird. He would have his two friends pick us up or whatever. Like, oh my God, isn't she like a bird? And isn't Rana so dense, so heavy? I was like,
Yeah. And
Great.
that's how stupid I am.
yeah.
Is I didn't even realize that was a thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the thing that I'm talking about is girls are constantly being looked at and judged on what they look like, whereas guys there's really not that much of a difference. And the biggest component of the way girls are looked at is like their weight. So when your dad is like, dude, check how heavy she is. And then your friend lifts her up and goes, dude, she is heavy.
they'd be like, dude,
And
this
they'd
is crazy.
and they'd high five
what the
me.
heck is this?
Yeah.
Of course, they're high fiving me, and meanwhile, she's like, wait a second.
Yeah.
So it's just a little heads up.
I remember one specific instance in the garage, or like outside in our old house in Ocean Beach, in the back on the pavement. I
Yep.
remember Seth was over.
Yep.
And you made him do that. And I was like a little bit embarrassed because I had like a
You always
crush
had a
on
crush
Seth.
on Seth, yeah.
I was like, oh, we're gonna get married when we're older, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. I was like 8,
Nice.
7. And so I was like, oh shit, like a little bit embarrassed, you know?
Yeah.
But I didn't really think, like I was like embarrassed, but then I was like, okay, whatever.
So let me ask you this about that experience. Because obviously it's not like an intentional abuse or nothing like this. It's like, in fact, it's the opposite. It's
No,
like,
we talk about it now
Yeah.
because I'll be like, bro, you literally called me dense. You called me like a bowling ball, all this stuff. That's like, and he said, dude, that's the biggest compliment I could ever give you.
Right.
Like, that's what he said now. And I understand it now as I've embraced that I'm like stronger.
Yeah.
But like when I was a kid, I was like, oh shit, dude, I gotta like change. I gotta do something about this because this is not good.
do you think that because, okay, so there's a different, so him saying that stuff, for sure, it's going to land. What he's saying is landing, but his tone isn't like, it's not a negative tone, it's a positive. So
not at
did
all.
you sense any of that going on? Like, or was it just, hey, you're saying I'm dense, that's bad? That,
No, I feel like looking back on it, I remember him being stoked. It's just how I like twisted the words in my head.
Yeah. And also
Yeah.
the way, for lack of a better word, like society.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Is you look at the Barbies and you look at, skinny. And here's your dad
Yeah.
being like, dude, you're so heavy.
Right.
Like, just like that. I'm totally stoked.
Yeah.
But I'm an idiot.
Right,
you know,
right.
I just didn't make the connection.
Yeah, but I feel like the outcome and the whole deal, it would be a completely different situation if you said it in a negative, in some bizarre world or something. If you're saying it with a negative tone, that's like a whole different thing.
Totally.
Even though you're not
100%.
taking it as good, you'd still take it bad, of course, but it would be like, I feel like the outcome would be like way different and way worse.
And I guess the lesson here is like, even with the best intentions,
100%, yes.
it was not good. And imagine if you had negative intentions.
Right.
You know, you gotta remember, this is sort of like a leadership lesson too. You know, I talk about this sometimes. When you're in a leadership position, you got to remember that your words carry more weight, right? A lot more weight. So if you work for me, Echo, and I go, even if I'm just joking around, you know, I go, I guess you didn't really want to put your best effort to this video that you had made.
Yeah.
You know, even though I'm joking,
Right.
it has weight.
Yeah.
By the way, it also has weight when you say something complimentary. It's more, a lot of times you don't recognize that, oh, I'm the boss here. I need to give some compliments, because in my mind, I'm like, Echo doesn't really care if I say like, hey dude, that was a really good job.
Yeah.
But in your mind, again, it's just because I'm thinking, oh, who am I? I'm just a dude.
Yeah.
But in your mind, you're like, oh, Jocko's the boss. He's the CEO, or he's the lieutenant, or whatever.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm like, I'm just another dude. So you got to keep that in mind. Your weight, the weight of your words as a leader is a lot more than you think they are. And the weight of your words as a parent is probably even heavier than that. And so even when you're saying something with the best intention, if you're not...
Heavier, no pun intended.
Yeah, they are certainly heavier.
And denser, yeah.
They
for
are
sure.
heavier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they land with more weight.
Yeah. Just more dense. Like a bowling ball. Right?
Yeah. So there you go. Be very careful what you say to your kids. And I'll tell you another thing that's important to remember is your kids, like, they're going to go through little phases. Some of the phases that they go through are 4 days long. Some of the phases that they go through are 4 weeks long. Some of them are 4 months long. But just about nothing that they're doing is going to have some big permanent, like, that's the way my child is now. Like, for a little while, they're going to be into, or I don't know, they're going to listen to music that you don't like. And you're going to be like, oh, why are you listening to this crap? Or they're going to be into some sport that you don't like. Or they're going to, whatever. You just name it. And we'll get to one of those because, you know, Rana you got really into cheerleading for a little while. And I didn't like cheerleading. I appreciate it more now. But at the time, there was things I looked at. I was like, oh, I don't really like this. But, and we'll get there. But my point is, if you feel like you need to impose corrective measures on your kids because they've taken one step off of the path, don't. It's not worth it. Let them bump into the guardrails and be like, ooh, that path didn't seem really smart. I'm going to go back towards the right path. Because we worry. Another story I tell is about Ethan, one of my son's friends. And when I took him to jiu-jitsu when he was 5 years old, hated it. Didn't come back. 6-year-old, took him again, hated it. 7 years old, hated it. 8 years old, hated it. 9 years old, he's totally fine, totally into it. And my point in saying that is he got really good really quick, and it wasn't like his life was ruined because he didn't train. And it wasn't even like if he wanted to become a world champion, he would have become a world champion, even though he was starting 5 years later than,
right.
even though he started training earnestly at 9. Doesn't really matter. Yeah. So we think that our kid, we need to make him into the world champion. Like, bro, chill. You know who's going to make your kid? You know who's going to make the kid into a world champion? The kid. The kid is. So give them some space. Give them some room. Speaking of jiu-jitsu and imposing jiu-jitsu, and this is something I've talked about a lot on the podcast, and which is I imposed jiu-jitsu on all my kids in a big way. And when I say in a big way, I mean 7 days a week.
Not like what you're doing, Echo.
Thank you.
Once a week. I love it. I love seeing them.
comparison.
Is it once a week right now? Or is it twice a week?
Oh, for the kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, one time.
Yeah.
Sometimes twice, but
Once or twice. Yeah, minimum once.
The mandatory. That's the routine.
And what's the reason?
What we always talk about, where jiu-jitsu is like they are not allowed to not know jiu-jitsu growing up, just for all the reasons that we explained and all the stuff or whatever. And they've accepted that.
Yeah.
So yeah, boom.
So just like you can't, just like you have to use the toilet and not like use the floor.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, good comparison.
Sure.
Just like you have to brush your teeth in the morning, you
Yeah.
just got to do, hey, one day a week. That's just the way it is. That's just the thing.
Yeah, fully.
I think that's a really good policy. I think twice a week's a better policy.
Oh yeah, I
But you know
agree.
what? Once a week.
I think once is good. I
Yeah.
think for like young kids, because even the thought of changing it from once to twice, like I just had a kid in my kids class cry, and his mom told me it's because we changed it from once a week to twice a week. I think once feels a little bit like, oh, that's fine, once a week. But it's like, bro, the second day comes by so quick that you're like, ooh,
again.
you know.
Yeah, especially, and kids, and you have the most experience probably because you teach kids class.
Yeah.
Or you teach my kids class. You see the difference. Like if a kid has like not that fun of a time, and then I gotta go again day after tomorrow, it's gonna be like more of a thing, you know.
But that's how my older sister and I got back into jiu-jitsu. We would just go to Victory to Nogi literally once a week and just go in the corner and do the moves and tell each other, oh yeah, this doesn't work. Like we would literally be, I think I could get out of this. I can just limp arm out of this. But we would have fun, and like having a partner, when you show up, you don't have to do that like look around, no one's making eye contact with you. It's worse, especially if you're a girl too. Not even to play the girl card, but like it is like worse. And just having that set partner that you're like, okay, if no one else wants to roll with me, I have that one person. We can just roll 5 rounds if we want. Yeah. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned getting back into the jiu-jitsu, but for a while you got out of jiu-jitsu. And again, I believe this is because of me, because I was so like just passionate about jiu-jitsu. And you guys were training every day. You were on Saturdays and Sundays, it was like 5 hours. It was like 5 hours in the gym. Actually, one of you was saying the other day that because you'd go in, you do the striking class, you do the grappling class, and then I would go do class, and then I would do open mat. So there's 5 hours. And this is on a Saturday, every Saturday and Sunday. But I think it was either you or maybe your brother was saying you would be sitting downstairs waiting for me to hear my flip-flops coming down the stairs, and you'd get like excited.
Yeah, we would.
Like what? It's time to go. Time to go.
Yeah,
home.
it's time to go. And when it wasn't his flip-flops, bruh, sit back down. We gotta push through.
So it just wasn't fun. I didn't make it fun, and this is the biggest thing I tell people now with your kids, and it's just not with jiu-jitsu, man. It's with everything. Make it fun. If you happen to have a kid, because I've had kids. There's been kids like this at Victory over the years. You might have a kid that's a natural competitor, and fun for them is going really hard and competing and sometimes getting beaten. There's kids like that. It's 1 out of every 100. It's 1 out of every 100. Most kids, first of all, they don't really care about the thing that you care about. Like they're like, dude, what is this weird stuff where we roll around on the ground and try and choke each other? I don't even, I don't want to do that. I want to draw, or I want to play baseball, or just some other thing. And sometimes you're the one that's into baseball. Dude, you don't understand, dude. You know how awesome it is for a person to be able to hit this tiny ball that's flying at 90 miles an hour. Do you know what kind of human skill that is? Kid's like, I don't freaking care. It means nothing to me. That again, I'll bring this clip up again, and I don't even know what the movie is, but it's Matt Damon.
Yeah. It's good.
And because they make a bunch of memes with it now, where they're showing the kid he's got like a squat rack in his room, or he's got mats in his room, or he's got a bow and arrow in his room. Yeah. And Matt Damon, he's yelling at his kid, and this, you can't make me live after you can't make me follow your dreams. And he's like, yes, I can. He's like, Dad, why are you yelling? He says, 'cause it's a good dream. Yep. So eventually the pressure, and I realized eventually, I was like, yeah, I'm clearly doing something wrong.
What was it that made you realize? Do you remember?
Just they were freaking miserable. And every time going to the gym was a gut check of like tears.
Yeah.
probably
throwing.
Yeah, being in the car, like throwing stuff.
We like threw like water bottles.
Yeah, one time. One time they threw water bottles at
just
me
like
from the back
crying,
of the minivan.
all three of us like crying, like
straight up rebellion.
trying to get our
Rebellion.
mom to like tell dad like they don't want to do this, and dad's like, all right, well, I don't care. We're going.
For a while, I said I don't care and just be quiet, keep going.
So you did that. It's a good dream. That's basically what you just did.
I 100% did it.
Yeah.
This is like, I wish I would have been able to hear this, and I didn't.
That's crazy.